Just like a 9 darter, here we are on the United Agenda, 9 p.m., 3 items to get through. Stay with us for this one. Hello, and you're very welcome to this Wednesday edition of the Man United Agenda. The darts final is on the Ali Pally, and the three amigos are here throwing those darts at the board, and we have plenty to talk about. But before we get into tonight's entertainment, Mr. B and Yaba, how are we doing? I'm going to start with you, Yaba, because obviously you're a bit under the weather. You were stroking your belly all last night with the hot water bottle. Any improvement?
I don't need a hot water bottle anymore, but I've got my supply of tissues and a little brandy on the go, which I won't be drinking in public. Don't drink, guys, don't drink. But something just to warm my chest up. But yeah, I'm ready. And yeah, good luck to the young 16-year-old in the final of the darts.
I would wish him luck on Monday, but my money's on the other fella. I win €90 if he comes through. So
Okay. Well, we're not endorsing gambling either or drinking. And Mr. B is going to say he doesn't endorse smoking either. I'm sure he's going to say that.
Yeah, right. Not today, mate. I tell you.
How are you, Mr. B?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Middle of the week. I've had a nice cushy day at work, and now I'm going to be talking Man United. It's all good, man. It's all good.
Let's do it.
excellent.
So I just say, Rebel, you're wearing a basketball shirt. I've got cold. I'm trying to wrap up warm, and you're showing your muscles and things. Have you got the heating on full blast? Because you're living in Ireland. Surely it's colder over there.
I'm in a box room. I got the radiator literally 2 feet away from me, and it is toasty as fudge. And notice I said fudge and not the other word.
Yeah, we heard you.
But gentlemen, I have a triple threat for you tonight. We're
A
going to
treble.
talk
Let's
treble,
the
yeah.
dark team. A treble, yeah.
So, with our first start, we're going to be looking at Mr. Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Then we're going to slide on into triple 19 and talk about Crystal Palace's Olise. And finally, the 10 at the bull, Pellesti.
Can you finish on the ball?
You can finish on the
bull.
bull.
Yeah, you can finish on the ball. Well done. I was going to try and correct you there, but yeah, you know more about darts than me.
So, gentlemen, this one is going to be fast and furious like a 9-darter, because there are a number of us that want to get back to watching the action at the Ali Pally. So let's kick this one up. And apologies in advance, this is not a slideshow, but Manchester United have triggered the 1-year extension for Mr. Aaron Wan-Bissaka. But not only that, according to news in the last half an hour, they intend offering him terms that are more favourable than what is currently on offer. So I'm going to start with you, Mr. B. Obviously, we've been talking about our wing-backs for quite some time here on the Man United Agenda.
Wing-backs? Right back and left. We don't have wing-backs.
Thank you. Rebel always says wing-backs for full-backs.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we
yeah, we have full-backs, Rebel.
Fair. But given Mr. Wan-Bissaka's recent form, outside of extending the contract, given that we have to do a full strategic review of every single member of that Man United squad,
true.
How do you feel about new contract on better terms being extended to Mr. Wan-Bissaka?
What are better terms? What is he on at the moment? You know, if he's going up to, 100 grand, then it's all right. But if you're looking to be paying him, the 150s and the 200s, then no, it makes no sense. Favorable. Is it favorable to the club, like we're going to be doing with Varane, or is it favorable to Wan-Bissaka in regards to that we're offering him more money? Who's where's more favorable for who? We could be offering him less money.
As you know, it's saying there in the headline, higher terms for Mr. Wan-Bissaka.
What is he on at them? We can't. I don't. I'm hoping it's it's a protection thing. I know they're trying to trigger Lindelof's 1 year extension as well. So
That's been done actually in
oh, that's
Sweden.
been done. Okay, so maybe they're just protecting their assets. I mean, I'm not over the moon. Yeah, go
I reckon, and the theme of the darts, I reckon he's on 180
on.
pound a week.
He can't be on that. There's no ways on that. Anybody in
Any
the
new contract will be
can any
180.
what does he have left on his contract, Rebel?
Is it
Matthew Bassett's asking the question here.
okay?
So it was the 12-month extension, so I'd imagine he was only on terms till the end of the season, so now he has a year and a half.
Okay. Well, regarding, look, 50 million, we paid 50 million for him a couple of years ago. I think it's been good value for money. The reason I'm saying that is because a lot of people are saying at the moment, no one wants to come to Man United at the moment. So it will be hard to get decent quality players coming into our club because we're sort of tarnished at the moment. While things are looking so bad with the ownership and that kind of thing, it's not a great time for players to come to Man United. And that's just the word inside football. So we need to keep hold of our better players. And over the years, see, it's a double in the theme of darts. It's a double from 90,000 a week to 180. As I was right there. So I think we need the most important thing to keep our better players based on what we want coming in. Who's the better right back that's available out there that we can say, oh, we can sell Wan-Bissaka because this guy's out there. We're going to get him. Can you name one? Reece James is one of the top right backs. Trent.
He's always injured.
All these guys I'm naming, they're not going to come to Man United at the moment. So
yeah, but the English does it? Do you think it's an English? You know, we have an issue with our with the amount of English players that we do have. Do you think that could be part of the issue as well, making sure that we tie down the English-based players?
Yeah, of course. That's why I'm saying he's value for money. I think we paid 50 million for him. And I know you always talk about English tax, and that is part of the English tax. But he's been there a while, and I think he's been good value, to be fair. He's had his ups and downs, especially with the fans, especially on this channel as well. There's been times where we've been disappointed with him, But overall, I'm quite pleased with him. He gets the thumbs up from me, and I think it's a good decision to extend his contract and increase his wage as well to keep him sweet, because you don't want to lose a player like that, because we don't have any. I don't see any youths coming through at right back. The last one we had, Lurd, was it Lurd? It was on loan to QPR. He's gone.
He ended up.
Yeah, he's gone. So that was the last right back in the youth that we had available. When you look abroad, we talk about Fring Fong all the time. He's playing for a great side under Xavi Alonso right now, top of the Bundesliga. His value is going to go up. I don't think he'll be coming to Manchester United either. So I don't see any other players out there of value that are going to be better than Wan-Bissaka, who's been at the club, knows the Premiership, and obviously when it comes to one-on-one defending, it's probably the best that we've ever seen. Put some respect on his name, give him a new contract. That's fine. I know we had an argument yesterday, Mr. B, about, say, Rashford. There was one talking in the comments about, oh, Rashford, why are we giving a new contract for these players to come and get a new contract and then start playing poorly? I don't particularly see that with Wan-Bissaka. He's always consistent, whether it's consistently bad or good. He's always consistent with it. He's never really been that bad. But I'm happy with the deal. And I think we need to start doing this. I wasn't happy, by the way, with Lindelof getting a new extension. I don't think that's value for money going forward.
Now, Mr. B, I'm going to ask you the question because I have seen on Twitter that there has been quite a revolt to players getting 1-year extensions triggered. Now, given the fact that there is a business side to this club and the possibility of residual value being available in making a sale, would you tend to disagree with the outlandish cries of why from Messrs. Yaba regarding Lindelof and the people that are crying out against Wan-Bissaka that we shouldn't be triggering these 1-year extensions because there's a potential to get in excess of that value back? Well,
look, if we don't trigger Wan-Bissaka, then he leaves on a free at the end of the season. That's 50 million down the drain. They're protecting their assets. Yes, I understand why they're doing it on a business sense. If it was up to us, we would just have Wan-Bissaka gone and buy somebody else. And, it doesn't work like that. And I said, my guys coming in here now and they're looking at marginal gains. So I'm going to assume they're having an input on whatever situation is going on, officially or unofficially, they are in control now. The fact that I'm just not. What is it that Wan-Bissaka's not good enough? I don't. Maybe he's not. Maybe he's not. But as a right back that players don't get past, then yeah, it's just the other side of his game that we still feel needs improving. Will it improve under the manager that we have now? Who knows? Does he have it in him, personally to improve to a greater level? Again, that's a question that needs to be asked. But I understand why they've done it. I I'm either way. I don't think I have an opinion on it. For I'm actually gonna do a solo and sit on the fence and say I'm not glad that it's being done. I'm not upset it's being done. I understand why it's being done.
Can I just touch on a few comments on this? Because it's a good talking point. Stephanie Griffiths saying here, did the same with Dallo, offered him a new contract recently, so we're not well surprised. Bart's criticising here, saying, I feel an elite right back is something that every good club needs, especially in modern football game. But given the scale of the rebuilding task at Old Trafford, maybe look elsewhere first. Wan-Bissaka is homegrown too. Big T saying here, why did we send Reguilon back early? We discussed that yesterday. We're an injury away from needing him again. Bart saying here, for reference, Son is on 180 grand a week. So Son's a Tottenham star, scores a lot of goals. I know that the revenue of both clubs is not the same, but if his form tails off, then who will we buy on those wages? 140 grand a week would be good for me. Ethan Lurd, yeah, he was a previous guy on loan. It didn't quite cut it. And Fring Fong is a former City graduate as well. City have got shown once again that they've got a great youth academy. Wan-Bissaka is not a good reader of the game, says Bart. His positioning is rarely perfect. As a result, he goes down to the floor too often. Those accurate crunching tackles will not be the same as he ages, he's saying here. DK Wilson, how you doing? Monday hit it when he talked about locking in English players. It was actually Mr. B said about that. In Ole Rain, says Bart, when United had a ton of players out of contract or near that, and then renewed or extended contracts for Martial, Jones, Matic, and many others as well. JR, how you doing? Says Lindelof is the softest centre-back in United's history. Right back in Wan-Bissaka's case, you can buy a championship centre-back on Lindelof's level. Wow. And big up to Pat. I don't know if you're still in the UK, Pat.
This isn't Pat. This is our Twitter Pat. This is our Twitter Pat.
Sorry, I'm getting the Pats confused. Some money from a sale from Wan-Bissaka in the future is better than nothing. Once again, Mr. B, you mentioned that, didn't you? You don't want to let him go for free.
And can I just wish Johnny Evans a very happy birthday? Obviously, he celebrated a year advancement today. But as we were mentioning the darts, this just came up on my screen. A number of Manchester United players have wished Manchester United fan Luke Littler all the best in his World Championship finals today. It is currently Luke Littler 4, Humphreys 2. So the Manchester United fan may deliver some bit of silverware to Old Trafford this year. But gentlemen, we're going to move rapidly along into our second set of darts. And this is regarding a rather expensive potential acquisition that could represent our first transfer under the new regime. So I'm just going to get this screen up in front of you, and I'm going to get Yaba to talk about how he feels about this gentleman. And I want to preface it by saying he missed quite a substantive amount of time through a hamstring injury. And it seems that if we were to sign this player, and he's quoted as having a £60 million release clause.
I heard it's 35.
There's other reports floating that it's 60. But even at 35, let's take the lower base.
It's going to be 60. You know what United are like, mate. But yeah, go on.
Let's talk about £35 million. And given that Manchester United have bought a number of players with questionable fitness concerns, are we barking up the wrong tree with this gentleman on Monday? You're muted there, bud.
Sorry about that. You said 35 straight away. I'm thinking 15, double 10. And if you want a 60, I would go 20 tops, double tops. Yeah, Olise. Now, look, this guy played, I think he's come through Youth Academy at Arsenal, maybe, went to Reading, and he was signed by Vieira, wasn't he? Vieira, I thought he'd done pretty well at Palace with what he did. Brought in a good few youngsters there and good few players, and they were doing all right. I don't know why they sacked him, by the way. But yeah, we remember Olise because he scored a fantastic free kick against us to get a 1-1 draw down at Selhurst Park. And that was amazing. But when I was looking at the data today, I went and had to just dug a little deeper to look at him. I do like him, by the way. I think he's a decent player. And the only thing which would suggest why we should sort of find this guy attractive is because we compare him to what we've already got. And what we've got at the moment is Anthony. We discussed him yesterday. So when you're measuring up to someone like Anthony, you're going to be looking favour, aren't you? And Olise is a good player. So I looked at the data. Olise second in dribbles and crossing to Doku from Man City. So that's quite impressive in the whole Premier League. So what he does with the ball, he gets more dribbles. And keep in mind, he's playing for Crystal Palace, who don't have a lot of possession of the ball a lot of the time. So it's quite impressive what he's got there. I just always felt with him that he's maybe he's tall, a bit gangly, not strong enough. I always felt that he hasn't got that drive to be an elite sort of level player. Very skillful, very good in that respect. But I'm not sure about being a Manchester United winger that we want. And you've got some data up here as well. There's 5 goals, 1 assist. Shock, actually. I want to see, you're seeing duels, aerial duels. I want to see interception. I want to see dribbling stats and crossing stats and take-ons and that kind of thing, if we can get that. And there we go. So we're getting pass accuracy there. Passes per 90. He's got a good long pass as well in his locker. He can spread the play pretty well and switch the play. Cross accuracy 27%, but crossing doesn't work when you're playing inside forwards these days, does it? No one crosses anymore, I think. Overall, I would say this: he's better than Anthony at the moment, as in the Premiership. His numbers show that. His data shows that. But I wouldn't pay too much for him because you just don't know. It's like the Wilfred Zaha signing him when he was hot for Crystal Palace, signed him, and it didn't work out. You just don't know about the temperament. Why was he let go by Arsenal? Why did he end up at Reading and no one else pick him up? You know, now he's in the Premiership. Why has he been injured for a long period of time? There's a lot of questions we need to ask before we just go out and sign somebody because they're left-footed and they play on the right. And it just shows once again the caliber of player that we can only attract right now. Would he be advised to come to Man United right now? They'd probably say to him no. But he would probably come for the dough, and that's where I think we'd be missing a beat. This is the problem we've got at the moment. We cannot attract top quality players. And granted, get someone who's hungry and young to come in, but we had that before when we brought in Sancho, and we've seen what happened with Greenwood under Man United when he's got the money, got the dough, got the lifestyle. Sometimes it doesn't work out for these young players. So I'm still got a question mark about this. I don't know what the people in the comments feel about it, but I can see Mr. B stroking that grey beard of his. He's got something to say.
I want to throw a question to Mr. B, actually. We've spent a fortune on Sancho. We've spent a fortune on Anthony. We've spent money on Amad Diallo, as Bart points out, and we've spent money on Pellesti. Given how much we've outlaid for players in the position, and given that we have the incumbent Garnacho, who didn't cost us as much, how ill-advised is it for us to put forward more of our, I suppose, limited budget towards yet another wide player?
For him to be identified, I don't know what his crossing stats were, but we need a different profile, right winger player who plays on the right hand side. We've got a forward who we're not going to sell. We've just paid £70 million for him, so that's not on the cards. Anthony's position at the club, I think, is under threat, and obviously Sancho is doing what he's doing to get himself away at Dortmund. So we do need a right-sided player now. The fact that we do now have, not officially, but we have, they tried to sort out an umbrella around the club at the moment in regards to positioning and systems of play. Maybe this is somebody that's been identified. Maybe this is somebody who is cheaper. Okay, question for you guys. Sorry, but maybe this is somebody who is a better option in the position that we're going to need, because Anthony's not doing it. We don't have Sancho. Pellestri's not good enough, or he would be playing. But obviously, I said I'm going to go back to it again. Man United's lack of English players is an issue. What other positions in the team could we get another English player in? It's not going to be a forward. It's not going to be right. It's not going to be left. Central midfield, we've got Mason Mount. You're looking at maybe a central midfield, but it's not going to replace Bruno. And we've got Kobe in. Left back, we've got Luke Shaw. Right back, we've got Wan-Bissaka. Where else in the squad can you see Man United buying a player? This is where my thinking's going. We're going to lose a position next season with Højlund not being a foreign. He's going to be on. It's going to be over 21, so he then becomes classed as a first team player. I'm just thinking that this is the Man United are trying to look ahead, if you see what I mean. Maybe he's not the best option. I like is it Eze that plays for?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, right. When I heard we were linked with, that's who I thought it was, and then when I saw the picture, it was like, oh shit, it's him. So I thought it was the other one. So I was really excited until obviously you see the picture. But I'm wondering if maybe that's the way that United are going.
Here's the thing for you though. If you're looking for an English player, currently you've got Ollie Watkins as possibly an alternative striker.
How much would he cost?
Or, and stay with me on this one, Ivan Toney is coming back from his ban for gambling offences. He's currently in excess of requirements at his parent club because they don't want to upset the cohesion of the squad that they have currently. So maybe he'd be a cheap way into an English qualified player.
You said cheap. You think Ivan Toney's going to be cheap?
No.
If they say Ivan Toney is up for sale, that's Chelsea and Arsenal and maybe Tottenham. I say maybe Tottenham, but you're looking at Chelsea and Arsenal, which means that you're looking at 70 to 80 mil. So that's I don't see that as a cheap option. I don't see that as a cheap option, to be fair.
I think look, there's a lot of comments coming about Olise, and some people, if Olise comes in, what happens to Pellesti and Ahmad? We'll talk about that in a minute. Collective 50 million. Would it mean Man United would have to sell McNeil as well? We've forgotten about him. Olise is an upgrade at Anthony, says Matthew Bassett. Good evening to Zoe Media House. How you doing, Zoe? Nice to see you. Stylistically, he was suit 10 Hag's endgame. He is looking so good just because he is surrounded by average players. That's a question mark about Olise playing at Crystal Palace. What is crossing stats as Højlund thrives on them? We need a Premiership League goal scorer to help Ramos and adapt to learn a new way of playing. Paul Mitchell is saying here, UK Stranger is saying here, Paul Mitchell is close to being appointed Man United sporting director, and he has identified Valencia midfielder Javi Guerrera, as his first transfer target for the summer. So that's someone we can go and have a look at. Pat USA is saying injury record bothers me, as Rebel was highlighting earlier. He's been out for most of the season, and his talent, however, has shown in the league. USA Pat again is saying, would we make a run at Bowen? Bowen obviously was left-footed. He's playing up front at the moment.
I'd rather take Kudus. I'd rather go for bloody Kudus than I know he's just gone, but if you're looking at two, I'd rather have Kudus than Bowen.
Yeah, he's looking good, isn't he? Elisa, this is someone who knows. So Jackie, as we know, is from that region. She's a Crystal Palace. She's like a half Scarf fan. Man United half and Crystal Palace half Scarf fan. But she knows a lot about Palace. And she's saying here, Elise is a fabulous player. Some of the stats are low due to his injury. But the stats are kind of good, though, when you look at them in detail. Just to add on Monday, Vieira didn't sign Elise. That was down to Dougie Freeman and his scouts. I thought Vieira did sign him when he arrived at the club. But, yeah, Jackie, I'm sure, is more qualified than me to talk about Palace. But, yeah, she's saying he's a fabulous player. I don't know what the injury was, Rebel, but that could be an issue. UK Strange saying here, big up Matthew. I'm helping out for the second part of the season. As UK Strange, sorry. Arguably, Liam Bailey is the best right winger in the Premiership right now. Don't think he cost a lot. He was at Leverkusen for a long time, really highly rated. No one went for him but from Villa. Eze, he gets a clap. We mentioned him, Mr. B. Pat likes him.
I like him a lot, man.
One way to bulk up the English, British, Irish quota would be to get more young, talented players, 18 to 20-year-olds, that slot into the under 23s at best. Is that good? Brentford, 100 million.
We need first team players.
McNeil is cheap as Harrison, as he is currently on loan at Everton from Championship Leeds. Both can cross, good on the break as well. Eze is also fabulous, but he's returning from injury. Pep is also a fan of his, and he's actually in the England squad as well.
Yeah, see, that's you know, if Pep's interested, there's levels of players in it. I just think
I've always liked him.
Man. He to me seems like a Manchester United. You know, you can see when a Man United shirt, bam, twisting, sending a man one way. Yeah, and that's what you want. We're looking. As I said, maybe it's a profile of player that we're looking at. So, you know, but that's just, yeah.
Brentford ain't selling Tony, says Bart. We deserve better. How you doing? He says we're constantly buying wingers, or should I say whingers? Bart saying here, Bowen signed a new deal. He's happy there, married to someone who is a big West Ham fan, apparently, Bowen. So he's had a career where he's gone up through the leagues, hasn't he? He was at Hull at one point. Zoe Media House saying here, all the names linked. So Jim is sounding more like Bowley.
Actually, incidentally, on Monday, as we're on the topic of Sir Jim, it is believed that he was present at Carrington and met with Eric Ten Hag today as part of his diligence prior to the full completion of his acquisition of part of the shares of Manchester United Football Club. And you also mentioned the injury to Olise. It's a long-term hamstring injury. And as you know, those soft tissue injuries, they do fill a lot of us here on the United Agenda with concern, because they're the sort of thing that can reoccur and keep you on the off the field for quite some time. We all remember Louis Saha, don't we?
Yeah.
And just to add here, you're talking about Dougie Freeman. He's a Palace legend. Jackie just reminded us here that Dougie does all the signings at Palace. He recommended Olise. Vieira was the manager at the time, of course. United are eyeing up Dougie for his skills as well when it comes to sort of scouting players. So he's really highly rated, Dougie Freeman. I mean, look, Palace have got a great talent pool down in Southeast London as well to pick from. So big up to Dougie Freeman, and maybe, he could be on our radar as well as a talent scout.
Now, we are coming to our final topic in our maximum checkout here on the Man United Agenda. It is currently 4-3 for those that are interested, but it does surround Federico Pellesti. Now, earlier today it was suggested that Manchester United Football Club may sell him, but there is an update since then, and this one is rather interesting because it's a link with Nice, and that we could actually loan him to Sir Jim's other club. So I'm going to let that one marinate amongst you. And Mr. B, give me your thoughts. Another loan of a Manchester United player out.
Oh, you surprised me with the link. To be fair, Rebel, I did wonder why you had left it till last, but I get it now. I get it now. Brilliant. Let him go. That means we're going to be doing business with Nice, and we need a centre back. So yeah, if they start, you know, holding hands and making eyes at each other, I have no problem with that. I don't care how blatant it looks. I don't care how obvious it looks. Yeah, if he's gonna go, as long as we're getting a right midfielder in, right-sided player in, I have no problem with it going. I have no problem with him going. He hasn't done. I mean, look, players who don't play are always better than the ones who play shit, and maybe Pellesti's just not good enough at the moment. Will he get better? More than likely. I mean, Uruguay play him a lot. They like him a lot. Maybe the Premier League is a bit too physical for him at this stage of his career. I do believe there is a player in there, but as JR said, he's lightweight. So, you know, yeah, let him go. I have no problem with that. And as we deserve better saying, Pellesti and Tebow, yeah, you know, work something out. Work something out.
Sorry, I'm going to have to change topic because there's literally a breaking article and it is edging on the virgin of the, I suppose, fanciful. But on Monday, your thoughts on this headline? It literally just cropped up.
Yeah, I saw this reported yesterday or the day before. He's 28. I think his contract's winding down. This is the guy who Pep turned from a fullback to a centre midfielder. Oh no, sorry, that was the start of it when he done it with Philip Lamb. He turned him from a fullback to a centre midfielder, and the same as done with Joshua Kimmich. He's sort of come in to become a centre midfielder, sort of position that we've been ideally looking for, someone who can play fullback and sort of drop into the centre midfield as well. But he's mainly known for being a midfielder these days. I don't like it because I just think it's like a quick fix. Is there any thought behind this? We bought players. He's 28, coming on 29. Is he going to be doing it in the Premiership for us? No doubt about his quality, for sure. But I just want the right signings from now on. We had Schweinsteiger we bought in the past from Bayern Munich. Why do Bayern Munich let players go? They don't. They're such a well-run club. What's wrong? My first thought would be, they're selling us a dud here. Has he got a long-term injury problem coming up? What's the deal here? Are they looking for big money? But isn't he always injured? Asking JR Kimmich. I just question it because Bayern Munich don't get rid of players that easily. I mean, we know this for a fact. They keep their players. They're very shrewd when they operate in the market. They're a much better run club than we are. And if they're letting someone go, like they did with Schweinsteiger and other players in the past, there's usually a reason for it. So I would want to dig a little deeper into the story to find out what's going on here. And I don't necessarily feel, even though he's a great player, that he's the right fit for us until I find out what exactly is going on. If Casemiro were to depart in the window, then he would be next. Not sure about that. I don't know what you think, Mr. B, but I just don't want to get mugged off again. That's my problem. So I'm super suspicious about any kind of top signing there.
Look, we're going to be linked with everybody, and it's only January. Kimmich sounds more to me like a summer signing, and those are the signings that I have no interest in. To be fair, I want to know what's happening in January. Everything's always, we'll do it in the summer. We'll do it in the summer. Summer comes, and we don't do anything. Then January comes, we need players. It's not the right time. We'll do it in the summer. Summer comes, we don't do anything. So I'm more interested about what they're going to do for this window, who they're going to get in, and who they're going to get out. And the sooner, whether it's Jadon Sancho goes, and we end up paying, 3/4 of the man's bloody wages. Dortmund are laughing on that deal. So sorry, just to change the subject slightly. I think Dortmund are laughing on that deal. The fact that it's going to be a 6-month loan, I think this is just beneficial to Dortmund and Sancho. United, we're going to end up paying what, 200, nearly to over 200 grand of his wages for a player that's not at our club. So him leaving doesn't free up any money. So they do need to sell somebody in the window to free up some sort of collateral to get things moving. Because even, they're talking about him putting in, Ratcliffe putting in 200 million. Does that mean that we can buy players? Because if it doesn't, then it ain't no help. You may as well just hold the money until this summer.
Very true, Mr. B, very true. And it has been suggested that Ineos will not sanction any big moves during the January window. So I suppose it is...
What's big? What do you classify as big? Tell me, what is big? Is it big?
Permanent
a free
signings.
Transfer? You're right. So you think it's all permanent. So the Guirassy one then, there's no chance that can be a signing because he's not going to come on loan. So we're going to be looking at loan players who are going to be there for what? For 6 months to earn a paycheck, but not to do anything else because they know that Man United are going to sign him. Look at Amrabat. He sat down the whole summer waiting for the move, and now we're going to buy. He ain't playing, and now we're going to bump him back to Fiorentina in the summer. Players watch this. Players see these things. Players talk. Man United don't look at anybody. Players who leave the club. Look at De Gea. De Gea left. We never even got to tell them and goodbye. Nobody did. He's still in Manchester waiting, hoping that, they're going to invite him to Old Trafford so he can say goodbye. It's not going to happen. We don't look after players. So Why is he gonna come?
You know, just quickly on that, no, I saw an interview with Tom Cleverley. Remember him? He was there under Fergie. What happened is they under Louis Van Gaal, they wanted to get rid of him. So Louis Van Gaal said, "Look, I'm bringing in the guy from Southampton and a couple other guys. You won't be getting much football." So Everton wanted him, and he was on the last year of his contract in the summer. So he had a year to go. Everton were willing to pay good money for him. But for some reason, Man United didn't want to take him to Everton. So last minute of the transfer window, they sent him on loan to Aston Villa. And it didn't really work out for there. And what happened at the end of the season, he went on a free to Everton anyway. So they lost money. So for some stupid reason, this is a long time ago under Van Gaal, but it just shows you, like Mr. B was saying, how we are sort of messing around and not getting good deals for certain players out there. And like Mourinho said recently, or not recently, in the past, like Mourinho said, look at the players that leave Man United. Where are they now?
Very true on Monday.
Mm.
I just want to throw one out to our chat and let it marinate until tomorrow. So I'm just going to pop up a quick screenshot here on for us. So it is reported Ineos's preference is to keep Erik ten Hag until at least the end of the season, although there's acceptance that more poor results may force their hand sooner. This is according to Rob Dawson of ESPN. And Graham Potter has been informally sounded out about his plans for the future. And Jean-Claude Blanc has been inundated with calls from agents pushing the claims for their clients. So that one I want to let marinate. And the other one that, according to ESPN, has been claimed is that Erik ten Hag is believed to be against giving up any veto power pertaining to transfers. Now, this again suggests that the league culture at Manchester United Football Club is not dead. So I just want to let that marinate there, the comments. And on Monday, will you wrap up the show with some viewer comments?
For sure. Pellesti is lightweight. We touched on that earlier, but JR saying that because obviously we talked about Pellesti could be going on loan to Nice, and how vital would he be for us for the remainder of the season? Swap deal with Tabibo would be nice. Nice, nice shout there. We deserve better. Zoe Media House is saying here: Kimmich, Casemiro, Eriksen, Bruno, and Mount. What a midfield that would be. Most certainly. Top player, says JR. Kimmich, but he's always injured. Isn't he always injured? Would start Ahmad against Wigan. That's UK Strange. Can't get all the comments, but Kimmich hired a new agent recently who is now offering out everywhere. He would want his last big contract. He would fit like a glove at Liverpool, but a bit too expensive because Bart is a serious Liverpool fan. But yeah, if he's been offered out like that, it's likely he's going to stay at Bayern Munich. Kimmich is the number one centre CDM in the world. That means central defensive midfielder. And we said that about Casemiro when he arrived as well. There's a story here just popping up, Rebel.
Yeah, this just confirms what was said earlier. I can't remember who said it in the chat about Paul Mitchell apparently being very close to signing on as Manchester United sporting director. So we'll keep tabs on this one as it develops.
Okay, do not trust ESPN, says DK Wilson, who's from the States, so he knows all about ESPN as a news agency and a journalist and all that kind of thing. Big G saying if Man United sign Dan Ashworth, Potter will definitely be the next manager. So it seems like Potter's being groomed for a position. His name keeps coming up. Bart will tell with Casemiro, the man is world class when he's on it. So there you go. Still some endorsement for Casemiro from Zoe Media House. Big up, guys. Thank you again. And Potter, my word. Yeah, that's from Pat, who knows all about him from USA.
Thank you very much, Amundi, for going through those comments. Now, it is almost time for United Agenda to close down for the night. I want to thank Yaba, who battled through his illness to come and talk football with us. And of course, Mr. B, who I believe is coming back with me tomorrow night when we have a special guest from Northern Ireland to discuss everything that is trending in the newspapers. And possibly that will be even at the earlier time of 8 p.m. So keep an eye on the channel for when that show does go up on.
Just quickly, Rebel, I've got like 125. I want a free dart finish. How do you go about it?
125. You could go semi-bowl, triple 20, double 20.
What? Oh,
Semi-bowl.
25. Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, you got it. You got it. That's good. Very quick. Do you play darts, Rebel?
I do.
Okay. Okay. Well, good luck to the 16-year-old. It's great to see. I think it's a big, big moment in sport, isn't it? To see someone so young, had that sort of impact on the game. A bit like Norman Whiteside scoring in the World Cup. A bit like Freddie Adu playing at professional football at 14 years old. Any other young players? Boris Becker in 1985 beating Curran in the Wimbledon final. He was only 17 years old. It's very rare these things happen. So anyone else in the comments want to talk about any young players who've had impact in the game? Mike Tyson and Floyd Patterson winning the boxing world title at 21 years old. That was special.
But speaking of the darts, I think it is
Stephen Hendry.
it is time for us to bolt, because it is getting to the nitty gritty of those final few sets. So thank you everyone for joining us in the chat. We have been the Man United Agenda, and to finish out tonight, it's not going to be a 180. It's going to be see you tomorrow.